Katie in the house.
What up?
Yep, superb. Right, what I'll do is I'll just do a quick intro and then we'll crack on with it.
Great,
Okay,
let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, you listen to 101.8 WCR Fm. It gives me great pleasure to say that sitting across the desk from me, I've got Rob Hoffman, I've got Katie Eden. How are you guys? You okay?
Yeah, we're good. Wide awake and ready
Yeah.
for action.
Very well,
Jolly
thank
good. The reason you're both here tonight is Rock the Beacon,
Yes.
an event that I've been waxing lyrical about for a few months
Thank you.
on the show. And Rob, you're the event organizer.
I certainly am. Yes.
It looks like it's going to be a cracking event. It really does, because I've been telling a lot of people about it, and they've been sort of having a look at it and going, "Oh, it looks really interesting." And I think interesting is, I quite like that when people say that, because rather, oh, it's just the same sort of event.
Oh,
That
right.
looks interesting.
Yes. What's interesting about this is that it's a brand new concept. It's something that's never happened like this before on the Bar Beacon. So what we've put together is something new. It's a new idea. There's a fresh way of doing it. And we're hoping that by being as broad as we can with the musical content of the event, people are going to buy into the idea,
Yeah.
want to come, and hopefully spend some time at the festival.
I mean, it's a great lineup of music. You've got original and tribute acts, and there's 50 acts over the
Wow,
over the
yes,
whole
there is, yeah.
weekend. I think it's a great idea to mix the two, because I can get a little bit tired of people who only go to see tribute acts.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, it's just my personal opinion. But
Yep.
the thing is, there are people who just go that, and I suppose if you can get people out the house to begin with, that's a start.
Yes.
But if people are being able to see like tribute act playing all their favourite songs, and then the next thing they haven't got to move anywhere, they can see an original artist. That's got to be good for music, hasn't it? Really.
Absolutely. Well, this is an idea that was born out of something that used to happen in Walsall anyway. There used to be an annual event called Bands on the Beacon.
I remember that. Yeah.
That's it. Well, we were involved in that for about 6 years, and then it stopped happening. The council ran out of money, or it couldn't make it work anymore. There's no longer an events team. So for 2 years it's been barren up on the Bar Beacon. There hasn't been any musical events up there at all. So the idea of this was to put something together that would work, that would be successful, and that would ultimately be a regular event up on the Beacon. And I realised that Bands on the Beacon was always about local bands, but it hadn't worked
Yeah.
because it had always lost money. So it was no longer happening. So to keep that concept together, I had to bring it into the real world.
Yeah.
And to me, the real world was about the tribute bands, because that works. A lot of the bands that you're seeing on this list go out on their own and they headline acts and they play at venues where there's regularly 500-600 people. They're just for one band. So what we've done here, and it's a fabulous thing we have done here, we've brought together a lot of bands that are normally headliners in their own right to play together at a festival where they're all equal.
Yeah.
So that's what's great about it.
I mean, you look at some of the acts that you've got across the weekend on the tribute side. You've got, sort of tribute acts to AC/DC, Queen, Beatles, Oasis, Foo Fighters, Thin Lizzy, ABBA, Kings of Leon, stuff like that. So you've got there something that everybody who turns up, somebody will have things like that in their collection. So there's going to be songs that are familiar. But as I said, I like the idea that people can go, "Oh, that was great! I've just seen a, sort of like an Oasis tribute act. Ah, here's an original band," but they haven't got to go anywhere. They've only got to basically sort of like cast their gaze over
Yeah,
to the other stage, and they can hear brand new original music.
absolutely.
And then if they sort of like, even if they only take in one or two songs, and it's that can only be good. It can only be good that actually then seeing original. And some people then will go and see this band if they see, oh, they're playing, down the road in a couple of weeks. We'll go and see them.
Yes.
And that has to be good for the live
It's
music.
fabulous exposure for the bands that we've got playing for us. The local bands, again, these are bands that can go and play on their own at a local pub,
Yeah.
and people will turn up to see. So these are not bands that have just been thrown together to do a gig. These are established, well-known bands with a good following in Birmingham. So the fact we've been able to pull, again, a wonderful lineup of local bands together to play at the festival, we're really, really proud of that, and we're very excited about the event, and we're hoping that people that come along can see the best of both worlds. They can see a local band just starting out doing original songs, and they can see the tribute acts that have already honed been doing it professionally for 20, 30 years.
I mean, just of the bands I've seen, and seen quite regularly, I've seen Electus many, many times. Thea, I only saw them a few weeks ago playing in Wolverhampton. They are an amazing live band.
They are.
They will surprise people who haven't been out to see a sort of like an unsigned local band. They will be very surprised when they see
Well,
Thea.
Thea are currently on tour with Magnum.
Yeah.
They're on the European tour, and they're playing to packed out places all over Europe.
And they're getting great reviews.
They certainly are. And again, we're really pleased that local bands have said, yeah, we want to be part of a local festival.
Yeah.
We want to be part of this event. We can see it's fresh, we can see it's got new ideas, and we want to be part of that in its inaugural year. So we're hoping that the following of the bands themselves will again help people come to the festival so that they can see them doing original songs and exposing the bands and spearheading local bands, pushing them forward, because ultimately it's the local bands that are going to be the tribute bands of the future.
Yeah,
we want bands here to make it. We want local bands to get famous, to be on the TV, to be on the radio, to be on MTV. And by local bands being helped and pushed and nurtured and forced into kind of becoming bigger and better bands, ultimately they'll hopefully make a living out of it and become well known and be well known established bands, which is what I've always been about ever since I've been in the business anyway. I
mean, you've also got like Buzzard. I've got to mention Callan as well, because Kim will slap my wrists if I don't mention Callan as well. Yeah. So I mean, it is a fantastic sort of selection of bands, but you've also got an acoustic stage as well.
Sure.
And this is where we can bring in the lady sitting to my left. I've just pointed. That's rubbish radio.
No, it's fine.
I'm pointing to my left. It's like Katie Eden. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm stoked to be here, and you know, I think this is going to be an amazing festival. I just like to echo what you just touched on, something that, you know, to bring these original bands onto the stage and to be the tributes of tomorrow. You know, I think there's some amazing. You know, I've been lucky to play alongside some crazy great bands on the independent scene, and I think it's only to be celebrated. I think it's going to be an amazing event. Really do.
What can you tell us about yourself as a performer? Because you're a solo acoustic artist. You have been in bands, but at the moment you're playing as a solo artist. What can you tell us about your sort of like your music and your background?
Yeah, so I've been in bands since I was probably 19, and I started as a lead vocalist in rock punk bands, and I've been in bands most of my life, and but I happened to leave one band, and I found myself writing songs alone, and sort of been through some, you know, some mental health issues, I suppose, and different things, and I've poured myself into my music. So to do that as a solo artist has really brought out some emotional songs, and I think that's where my band, or my little project called Tearfallz has been born, and I've been lucky enough to gain a bit of traction with it, and you know, like I said, I'm extremely, you know, happy to be a part of the acoustic stage. I can't wait to bring something a little different.
And the thing is as well, when you're saying like you've sort of like, you know, you've almost like you've been there, done it, that makes for sort of interesting stories which you can then put to music, and I think people quite like to hear somebody who's just playing something honest, you know, and that's what it sounds like coming from your music. It sounds like, you know, you're taking your sort of like your worldly experience, you're putting it to music, and I think people quite enjoy that, really.
Yeah, it's like I've been in bands for 20 years now, you know, so to take all that experience and put that into a solo project has been really cathartic, you know, and I can't wait to see the acoustic artists. I think there's something about the acoustic stage where it's all stripped back.
Yeah.
So you don't have all this huge energy. You just have, you know, a very raw and
it's
beautiful.
Honest.
It's very.
That's the way I think of
very
acoustic
bare.
music. It's honest.
So I think you know, that's the angle I'll be coming from, and I play with nothing but my heart. So I think it's gonna be great.
I mean, you're going to be playing some other dates as well across the Midlands and Staffordshire. I was looking at your live dates. If people go on to Tearfallz, that's Tearfallz with a Z at the end, one word on Facebook, they can see you know the dates, and it all sort of like builds up to Rock the Beacon, doesn't it? It's all...
Yeah, I thought, you know, it'd be a great idea to kind of, you know, to not only publicise this event, you know, across the venues that I'm going to be playing. I start in Newcastle under Lyme, go down through Stafford, into Birmingham, Stourbridge, and I think through Wolverhampton. There's a date in Wolverhampton, and then end up at Walsall with Rock the Beacon. So you know, it's going to be great to meet lots of people on the way. I'm you know, blogging on YouTube, and yeah, you know, it's going to be a great little tour, you know, building up to a huge finale, and you know, it's yeah, I'm really excited.
And what I quite like is when you go to sort of festivals, is the fact is that people who see you perform can then sort of like grab a chat with you afterwards and stuff like that. And I think it's really nice, especially festival, and especially as well for kids as well, because kids like it, and bringing Rob back in as well. The event, it's been sort of like it's a very attractive thing for whole families, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean we've tried to attract as many people as possible, because I understand that the original Bands on the Beacon was a free event with local bands, and people would bring picnics, they'd bring their dogs, they'd bring their food, they'd bring their hamper, and they'd sit down and basically spend the day in the sun watching local bands. So we tried to keep that.
Yeah.
We haven't completely distanced ourselves from the best aspects of Bands on the Beacon, and instead we brought them into the fold. So you can bring some food in, you can bring some alcohol in, you can bring your dog in, and you can bring your picnic in. And by doing that, again, looking at the bands we've got on, we've got something for everybody. Yeah. It's not all and out rock music, and it's not all and out pop music. You've got everything for all age groups here. You've got something that people will understand and listen to and enjoy, whether they're 6 years old or 60 years old. So the bands we've picked will appeal to everybody, and we're hopeful that the people of Walsall, Wolverhampton, Solihull, Dudley, Birmingham, they buy into what we're trying to do, and they can see that with their support we can make this an annual event and make it happen every year, and give Walsall what it hasn't got, which is a music festival. There isn't one happening in Walsall. There's no music available anywhere on this kind of level. So we need the people of Walsall, Wolverhampton, Birmingham behind us to make this event succeed, to the point where we can say, yeah, let's do it again next year. Let's make it a success. And you mentioned sort of 6-year-olds. If somebody has got a 6-year-old, the 6-year-old comes for free as well. Yeah, again, we seamless link. Absolutely, absolutely perfect. So it's adults £10 a day, but kids under 10 go free. Kids under 10 go free, which is great if you have got sort of a family and you've got sort of 2 or 3 kids and they're young. You want to take them out for the day, as you said. Bring the picnic, and they can bring dogs as well, because you said it's dog friendly as well. We're dog friendly, so they can bring nice friendly dogs as well. So people can bring, you know, realistically there could be 6 of them coming for basically for 20 quid for the price of the 2 adults. We've noticed that a lot of the people buying tickets have been buying several tickets. Yeah. It's very rare for someone to buy 2 tickets. It's been 4 or 6 or 8 tickets. And we've even had one person that's bought I think it was 64 tickets. Good so people. I'm not sure who they're bringing along, but yeah, I mean, and the age groups is completely broad as well. Yeah. We have got everything here, from teenagers, kids, adults, grandmas, granddads, and again, the music is for everybody. We're going right back to the 40s and 50s here. Then we've got Elvis on. Then we've got the Beatles on, and it's bringing it into the 70s and 80s, right up to modern music as well. So there's something for everybody, and we want people to see that it's something for everyone, and, you know, give us a chance. Come on board, have a good time, and hopefully we can give you a festival every year. And it coincides with the 100th anniversary of the Barbeacon Memorial as well, so it's perfect timing as well, isn't it? Yes, it is. I mean, Barbeacon Memorial's been up there a long time, and it's been travelled to by people from all over the world because of its history. And yeah, coming into the 100th year, it's fabulous that we're able to do something for that, because there's nothing happening again from the Walsall Council to support it and to make it happen. So what we're doing is the only live music event on the Beacon this year, and we're hoping the weather's going to be fabulous. We're hoping it's going to be a fun day, and we're hoping we get a good turnout and people sitting in the sun watching music and having a great time. That's what it's about.
Sounds fantastic. If on the bad thing, if it is a bad way, the good thing is I bought a new pair of wellies at Download at the weekend, so I've got me wellies anyway. But let's hope we don't need them. Let's hope it's flip flops all round.
We're hoping that it's all rained out by August and there's no rain left in the heavens, and we get a couple of days of the sun shining, which brings everybody out.
Yeah.
Again, you can come on the day if you want. If you haven't got tickets, you can pay on the day, but tickets are more expensive on the day.
Yeah.
It's £15 on the day. So we're encouraging people to buy in advance so that we're not sold out and so that there are still tickets available for you.
And the thing is, there's street food, there's bars, there's attraction, there's more attractions to be announced as well. So it's going to be a fantastic weekend. It really is, and people have got something for it. There's something there for everyone, as you said.
We want there to be something there for
Yeah.
everyone. We want kids to be enjoying themselves. We want mums and dads to be enjoying themselves. We've even got a wrestling tent on at this as well. This was kind of a shall we, shan't we? And then we thought, yeah, let's do something different.
Yeah.
Let's make something happen that people can go and watch some wrestling as well, because that's a very popular thing.
Wrestling's hugely popular, isn't it?
It is hugely popular. So we've got a sideshow of wrestling as well as the live bands. We've also got the fair that's going to be there as well. So we've got some waltzers, we've got some bouncy castles. It's going to be a fun couple of days for anybody that wants to go and do something without spending a lot of money and seeing a lot of things in an iconic environment, which is on the Barbican.
And then people can obviously go to the acoustic stage and see Katie sort of doing her stuff as well,
Yeah.
and then they can go and meet her afterwards, get a picture with her, and
They certainly
that's
can,
what it's
yes.
all about, isn't it? It is all about connecting with the public.
It certainly is, and Katie loves having a photo taken. So anybody that wants a selfie with Katie, she'll be queuing up ready for you.
Yeah, I think you know it's always nice to kind of get talking to people. I absolutely love that. It's part of connecting with people that's listening to your music, and I'm sure every artist will agree. It's just nice to meet people face to face, and
Certainly is.
it's the best thing. So absolutely, please come up and say hello, and say hello to the other artists too. I think it's going to be it's going to be amazing.
It certainly is, yeah.
It certainly is. Thank you so much for your time, for the two of you tonight. As I said, it will be plugged shamelessly on this show
Thank you
for
so
the
much.
next for the next few months. And I will be doing some comparing on the Saturday as well. But don't let that put anybody off. It's
It's fabulous to have you on board on the day.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. But Rob, Katie, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And I will catch you soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
That's brilliant. I've got 16 minutes there. I shall edit that. I shall run that next week. I'll bung you one of your songs in as well.
Okay, that's
and
fine.
I'll chuck in a couple of songs from a couple of other bands on
Fabulous.
the bill as
Great.
well.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I brought. I sent them over my MP3.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's actually.
Great.
I listened to it today. It's good quality. So.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
But no, thanks for having me. I felt a little bit like, because obviously I'm just one act, so it's
Well, the thing is, we'll do this more over the
think-
next couple of weeks, and we'll get a couple more acts in as well. And it just means that I can run stuff all the way through, sort of like sort of the back end of June, July, leading right up to the
Yeah.
actual event
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, because we do need the support, Gary.
Yeah,
This is what this is about. I mean, this isn't put together to make money. This isn't about a lot of success. This is about breaking even and just covering the cost of putting the event on. If that can happen, we see that as success.
It's a fabulous way of thinking about it. That is, it really
Well, I mean,
is.
I've been in the business like 30 years now. I don't need the money anymore. Well, what I need is like stimulation. And to me, putting on something like that in the middle of nowhere on a field,
Yeah,
it just appealed to me as a fantastic challenge.
Have you ever been down to Rob's studio?
I haven't.
Right,
I
it's,
haven't.
it's got a 30 years, is it?
But Banners is great, and historically
I know of
Wow.
it. I've just never
it's
never
a good
been there.
place, and we do 120, 130 bands a week through there. Local bands, covers, pop bands, tribute, rock,
You've had some
metal.
amazing act come.
Yeah, sure. We've had a lot of big bands as well, and I'm proud of that. But this isn't set up as a business. This is set up as long as it covers the costs. I'm going to be proud of this.
Yeah.
Because we've done something. We're magicians here. We're making something happen where there's nothing. The
Yeah.
Barbican, there's nothing. There's no music. There's no bands. There's no happiness. There's no smiles. There's no picnic. There's nothing there. We're making something
Yeah.
out of nothing. So to me, to do that without it losing me any money is going to be success.
Right.
So we need the people to get on board and buy the tickets and come along and you know, cover the cost of putting it on.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It
I'll get a
is
picture
great.
of you two sitting together,
Yeah, sure.
and then we'll get some pictures out in reception if that's
Brilliant,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, fine.
And this will go on Facebook and Instagram in a short while.
You're not going to pay that one.
Superb.
Brilliant.
But yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure. But you know, when Kim approached me about it, I was like, to think about it.
Yeah.
It's just a shame I can't do the whole weekend. But
What are you doing the Saturday? Well, the Saturday's the rock day.
I'm doing
anyway,
the Saturday.
which is the,
I'm stoked to be. I mean, I'm going to be there for both days.
I should hope so.
I'm
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
I don't know about if you know this, but me and Mel are going. Mel's going to be there as well, so
Excellent.
it's going to be great. I think I genuinely I'm excited. I think there is so much to see. I'm going to be torn.
I mean, I've got a
That's
prior engagement on the Sunday, but if anything changes, obviously I'll be there
Come
on
on
the Sunday.
down.
But
You'll enjoy the music on the Saturday because it's a heavier day.
Yeah.
We've kind of done that so that we can appeal to the rock people,
Yeah.
and then more like the family kind of ABBA, Beatles people on the Sunday. But strangely, I've been surprised that the ticket sales are actually twice as many on the Saturday for the Sunday.
are they?
really.
Mind you saying that, the
Just shows how
Midlands,
popular rock
the
is.
Midlands is, you know, we are the rock capital.
Oh yeah, rock has really proved itself on this.
I mean, I was talking to
Really
I was
has.
talking to guys at the weekend from American bands. I was talking to Steve Stevens, who was in Billy Idol.
Oh wow, what a guitarist! Yeah.
It was ever so weird because we was about to do the interview, and they says, "Oh, you'll be talking to Steve and the lead singer of his new band."
Yeah.
And this guy Frankie, who was, "Oh, hiya." Steve Stevens was like,
Mm.
just looked like he'd had the roughest day ever. He just
Really?
wasn't interested.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be hard work."
Yeah.
I went, standing here in the press tent with Frankie Perez and Steve Stevens. How are you? Steve Stevens went, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm great, thanks."
Just
And
switched
he
it on.
just completely switched
Oh
it on.
wow, yeah,
And I
well
was like,
done.
"Wow!" And at the end,
Yeah, yeah.
I said, "Can we get a picture?" "Yeah, of course we can."
Sure,
Took it, and he went, "Just check it. Make sure." He said, "If it's no good, we'll take another one."
brilliant. Yeah,
And,
there
and
you
then he was
go.
like, and I was like, "Well, that was easier than I thought."
yeah, great, brilliant.
But when he says, "Oh," he said, "Where are you from?" And I says, "Wolverhampton," and stuff like that. And he went, "Oh, I've played at the Wolves Civic."
Oh,
He went, Wolverhampton. He goes, "Birmingham." He goes, "Capital of rock, fantastic."
yeah.
I was like, "No." And I was talking to Tesla, the band from California,
Yeah.
and they just went to where you from. I said, "Wolverhampton." I said, "But you know, near Birmingham."
Yeah.
"Oh, we love Birmingham."
Wow,
It's just the history.
yeah.
And all the
yeah.
bands are so proud of the
Mm.
history, you know, so pleased about the history in the
Yeah,
Midlands.
yeah,
So people
they are.
say that rock's dead, but it's
No, it's not. Rock is the most popular genre of music.
It's
It
lasted through
absolutely
everything.
is. Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
goes through everything. Things
Mm.
come and go.
Mm.
You know, we've had all the new romantic, we had the punk and stuff like that, and bits and bobs
Yeah.
go, and rock has just
Rock
been
survives.
there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
it does.
Slipknot are so influential.
So, I was supposed to see them on Saturday at Download,
Yeah.
and I got talking to the managing director of LD Communications who put
Yeah.
the thing on,
Mm.
and before we realised we'd had a lot of cider,
Mm.
and we chatted for 2.5 hours.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
But I've seen Slipknot many times,
Yeah,
so it was a
Slipknot.
case of, well, okay, so I've missed them.
Slipknot and Sabbath as well.
Yeah.
And Judas Priest.
I met Geezer Butler on
Oh, did you?
the weekend
Fair play.
as well.
Yeah.
But I've had KK Downing in here.
Oh, have you?
He came in a few months ago and came in, we'd organised a chat, and he says, I says, "How long are you here for?" He goes, "How long do you want me here for?"
Oh,
We
great.
recorded a 2-hour chat.
Wow. Wow.
He was just totally open about everything.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It was great.
Great. Yeah. Really influential bands they are.
They are.
And
yeah.
you get kids in now at my place, and they are 15 and 16 years old.
Yeah.
And they're into Sabbath.
Yeah.
And they're into Judas Priest.
It's
And they're
crazy.
into like the old rock
Yeah.
classics because their dads have played it so much that they're the next generation and they
Yeah.
love it. They love it. And maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but literally 2 to 1 for every ticket we've sold on a Sunday, we sold 2 for the Saturday for the rock day.
Fantastic.
Incredible. So there you go. That just goes to prove that rock is, without doubt, the most dominant form of music in the
Oh,
Midlands.
yeah, without a doubt. Was
So
that-
next year, I mean, again, it all depends on this year being successful.
Yeah.
As long as I'm successful, next year we're going to tag a Friday night on and make it a rock night,
Oh, wow.
an out and out rock night. You know, put on a Metallica's kind of heavy rock bands.
Wow, it'd be incredible.
Yeah, it will be because because the stage will be up, the lights will be up, the PA will already be in on the Friday this year for Saturday.
Katie's got some news in her
Katie wants to play already.
Oh, I
Rammstein
know.
tribute act as well.
We've just, I don't know if you know this, but the lead guitarist that actually got the gig with us in Snakebites
Yes,
is in the UK's top Rammstein tribute
fabulous. Oh wow.
So he's incredible. He's a lovely guy as well.
There you go. That's our first act for next year.
You might just have to check your licence for fire.
And
Yeah.
boiling people, don't they do loads of stage shows?
7 point, yeah, they're up to 7.2k on Facebook. Like you said, Facebook is a good place to promote
is,
and different
yeah.
things like that. So you
Yeah,
know, it's great, you know, and yeah, I'm just, you know, it just, you know, to be a part of it. It's going to be great.
And what we'll do is after we've done this as well, sort of like maybe in a couple of months or so, if because I said I wasn't sure who was coming in up until a few hours ago, so we'll get you back to where are you based?
So I'm living in Stoke-on-Trent at the moment.
So not too
But I
far.
still rehearse at Rob's Rabana's because I
Right.
love that studio.
Okay. And
So,
then
but
what
I'm
we'll-
always around this area because I want to set up some gigs for Snakebites.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is in a couple of months or so, after like we've got through the summer, we'll get you in, and if you want to come in and do a couple of songs in the studio,
What, with the Tearfallz stuff or with the Snakebite stuff?
just whatever you. Probably just the solo
Tearfallz.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's trying to get the band in. We've done it. We've had Stone Broken in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wow.
We had them in, and it pushed us to the limit
Did it?
because the four of them in. We do this one. Well, like maybe a couple of guitars, but that one we tried it with the band, and we did it, but it really pushed us quite.
Do you know what I found with the Tearfallz stuff, which is quite unusual? Is because I'm writing original material as a solo artist, there is people out there that do it. But a lot of the open mics I go to, people play covers. And so I've been asked, I've got a gig in Brighton coming up at the end, sort of end part of the summer. And Jonathan Craig from Scotland wants me to go up there. He said there's not many single solo artists doing stuff like Katie Tunstall, that kind of just
Great,
that
good.
that single solo artist. So I'm still going to run Tearfallz. Tearfallz is always going to, gonna, because there's some legs in it.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm
is.
gonna go into the recording studio and record some stuff on my own, and you know it's. But this is going to be a great, you know, exposure for me, and like I said, you know, my songs are quite raw and emotional, and it's not your, you know, so there is a new angle there, but you know, it's picked up traction on Facebook, and I'm you know, and with yourself, it's just been, you know, a real pleasure. So. So I'm going to continue on with it. So yeah, I'd gladly bring some Tearfallz stuff
Okay,
down and
brilliant.
you know, do that.
Super.
Yeah.
Good.
Lovely.
Wonderful.
So we'll get a couple of pictures out in reception.
Let's do that.